They banned her new glass door for not being classic. HOA slaps $600 fine. Neighborhood uproar ignites. In the historic-style neighborhood of Willow Creek, Virginia, where homes echoed colonial charm, 41-year-old interior designer Sophia Grant sought to modernize her space. Sophia, a single mother of a 10-year-old son, had lived in her $350,000 home since 2020, cherishing its traditional look but craving a touch of contemporary flair. In January 2025, she replaced her old wooden front door with a sleek frosted glass door featuring a minimalist frame costing $2,500. The new door let in natural light, brightening her foyer, and complied with local building codes for safety and insulation. Sophia reviewed the HOA guidelines, which encourage classic designs but lack specific door material restrictions. She assumed the glass door, with its elegant simplicity, would blend well with the neighborhood's aesthetic, and neighbors complimented its modern appeal during installation. But the Willow Creek Homeowners Association deemed the door a violation. The HOA president, 66-year-old Evelyn Harper, a retired historian with a fierce devotion to preserving the area's colonial theme, received a complaint from a neighbor who called the glass door too modern and out of place. Evelyn scoured the bylaws, focusing on a rule that stated, all exterior changes must reflect the community's classic architectural style, with a $600 fine per violation for noncompliance. Though the rule was vague and rarely enforced, other homes had modern elements like vinyl siding. Evelyn targeted Sophia's glass door, declaring it not classic enough. She saw it as a chance to reinforce her vision of historical purity, ignoring its functionality and the lack of explicit material bans. On February 1, 2025, a cold morning, Evelyn sent Sophia a letter citing the bylaw and demanding she replace the glass door with a classic wooden design within 72 hours or face a $600 fine for architectural violation. The letter also warned of a $1,200 fine for a second offense if the door wasn't changed. Sophia was shocked. Her door was safe, stylish, and had boosted her home's curb appeal. She called Evelyn, explaining the door's benefits, its compliance with codes, and offering to add decorative wooden trim to meet the classic standard. She invited Evelyn to see it, but Evelyn was unyielding. Glass isn't colonial, she snapped. Replace it or pay. Sophia appealed to the HOA board, submitting photos of the door and examples of other modern updates in the neighborhood. But the board, under Evelyn's sway, rejected her appeal, escalating the conflict. The situation worsened. On February 5th, while Sophia was at a client meeting and her son was at school, Evelyn arrived with an HOA inspector. They examined the glass door, confirmed its modern style, and issued a second $1,200 fine, totaling $1,800, with a notice to replace it within 48 hours or face a lien on her property. Sophia returned home, her frustration mounting as she saw the new fine. Her attempt to improve her home had turned into a nightmare. She filmed the door, the notices, and her bright foyer, posting it on X with the caption, HOA fined me $1,800 for my new glass door, says it's not classic. Glass door ban. The video went viral, gaining 16 million views in 48 hours, with the hashtag trending nationwide. Outrage surged, with users calling the HOA ridiculous and controlling. Richmond news stations covered it, interviewing a disheartened Sophia, who said, "This door made my home brighter. They're punishing me for it." A design expert on air criticized the HOA's subjective rule, noting glass doors' growing popularity in historic areas. The community rallied behind Sophia. A neighbor, 38-year-old architect Mia Torres, organized a protest outside the HOA office, where dozens gathered with glass panes and signs reading, "Modern isn't a crime," and "Stop HOA dictatorship." Some taped glass-patterned paper to their doors in defiance. A GoFundMe to help Sophia cover the fines raised $10,000 in a week, with donors leaving messages like, "This is unfair," and "Justice for Sophia." The story gained regional attention, with outlets like WTVR and the Richmond Times-Dispatch running headlines like, HOA fines woman $1,800 for glass door, and Virginia designer battles HOA over modern door. Sophia sued the HOA, determined to keep her door and challenge their overreach. She hired lawyer Daniel Kim, who argued that the HOA's actions constituted harassment, financial distress, and an abuse of power, as the bylaw's classic standard was too vague and arbitrarily enforced, with other modern elements ignored. The lawsuit sought $15,000 in damages, the removal of fines, and an injunction to allow the glass door. The courtroom filled with supporters holding glass ornaments in solidarity. Daniel presented Sophia's video, building code compliance certificates, and photos of other non-colonial updates in the neighborhood. Sophia took the stand, her voice steady. "This door brought light to my home. They're darkening my life." Evelyn, representing the HOA, showed no remorse. She claimed the style rule was to preserve historical integrity and that Sophia's glass door justified the fines, arguing the HOA had the right to enforce its aesthetic standards, even with vague terms. The judge, a strict interpreter of HOA contracts, ruled in favor of the HOA, stating the bylaw was binding and Sophia had been warned. The fines were upheld, totaling $1,800, and Sophia was ordered to pay $5,000 in HOA legal fees. She left the courtroom, her son gripping her hand, the financial burden crushing her spirit. She had to replace the door, costing another $1,000 for a wooden one. The ruling sparked online outrage, with number sign glass door ban trending again, fueling calls for HOA reform. Homeowner rights groups condemned the decision, arguing it stifled personal style. In Willow Creek, Evelyn tightened rules, banning all glass doors and increasing fines to $800. Sophia installed a wooden door, but the light in her foyer dimmed, and her son noticed her stress. She scaled back her design business to cover costs. Willow Creek, once a place of charm, became a battleground, with residents fearing HOA overreach on their home improvements. So who's right, Sophia and her glass door, or the HOA's classic rule? Share your thoughts below. Please share this video, subscribe to the channel for more HOA madness, and let's keep the fight alive. Thank you for your support.